Hello everyone and welcome back to the Everton show. We've had an enforced layoff for the last couple of weeks, but we're back now, we're raring to go. We're on a brand new channel and we're delighted to be so. There's much to look forward to and reflect on, of course, in this week's programme, and all in the charming company of Ian Snowden. Charming company of Ian Snowden, of course, always a charming company. Been a good start to the season and it was a great point at Manchester City.
Fantastic point. Not many teams will go to the Etihad and come back with anything. To come back with a point, great result, was hard work because they're a quality team. Martin Stecklenburg was outstanding, to be honest. But yeah, the lads dug in deep and come back with a worthy point.
You've got to ride your luck at places like Manchester City, haven't you?
Without a doubt, they've got some class players, international class players. They keep the ball under the new manager. He's got a new way of playing and makes it very difficult for any opposition. And I thought we dug in and deserved a point.
We certainly did. Manchester City will be there or thereabouts, that's for sure. Right, let's have a look at some of the other things we've got for you in this week's Everton show. You'll certainly be watching Match of the Day tonight, won't you?
If my wife let me, yeah.
Just tell her you'll be watching her. Tell her you saved 2 penalties.
I think she knows already.
We love the mini derby. We had 2 great games last year. Liverpool a good side. They're doing well this year. They're going along nicely. So it'll be a really tough game.
We've had 2 draws now, so we drew a win. We need one. We'll be going, to Burnley to win, and we know it's not going to be easy. A different type of game, but one where it's going to take as much effort and concentration as it was against City.
We'll hear from Martin Stecklenburg shortly on the Everton show, Snods. I just want to talk about our goal. It was very well crafted from the back to the front line and superbly taken.
Yeah, great counter-attack. We were under pressure for long periods in that game, and we know what Rom's all about. And when great little flick that got it Romming down that left-hand side, and then once he started running, I was off my chair. I thought he loves situations like this, and he certainly did. What a great finish it were, and if we could have only hung on, but there was a lot of defending to do, and as we said, great goal, great point.
When he's one-on-one with the defender, you always fancy him, don't you?
I fancy him all the time. Whenever we're on commentary, if he gets one-on-one and he gets a run on somebody, I always fancy him to finish, and he did sublimely in that situation.
When you look at his goals record, and he's still a young man, I know we've said this before, it's amazing.
It is amazing, and I know one or two of us, like now and again, criticise him for probably not holding the ball up, but we do tend to forget how young he still is. So he's one of the best finishers in the game, there's no question about it.
Still plenty more to come as well from Big Romelu. Well, our starting point this week is that hugely impressive arena that is the Etihad Stadium, the home of Manchester City. Always a difficult place to go to, and not since December 2010 have we returned with a win. City are Premier League title favourites this time around, quite rightly so, and they certainly had their moments against the Toffees last Saturday, but the game ended all square, and this was the post-match assessment of Ronald Koeman.
We knew we don't get a lot of the ball today, but we had a great defending, great organisation in the team. We expect them with 3 defenders. We took a little risk in the beginning to start with 3 strikers, but we missed somebody on the midfield and we did not control the game. Great teamwork, great work rate of all the players, and of course you need the best goalkeeper in your life, and it was today. But the whole team worked so hard to get a good result, and you need to be a little bit lucky, of course. But we did that by ourselves, and that was the reason that we get finally 1 point.
You say lucky, but the 2 penalty saves were excellent, and there were 2 other world-class saves as well.
Yeah, the 2 penalties. Okay, normally a penalty needs to be a goal, but I think that the first penalty was not so bad. And of course that's a good choice for Martin to go on that side. And the save, maybe the save in the second half, the shot of Bryan maybe was the best save ever for Martin. But that's what you need if you if you get the point, because not many teams will get a good result in this stadium.
Martin's Everton career has started really, really well, hasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. But he's a very good goalkeeper. He played the World Cup final. He's a goalkeeper with a lot of games, a lot of experience, and that was the reason to sign the goalkeeper, because we need at least 2-3 good goalkeepers. And he won the fight against Joel in the pre-season, and he is showing why he is the first goalkeeper in Everton.
In his press conference before the game starts, Ronald Koeman stressed that his defenders need to bring their A game to the Etihad and be well organised, and he certainly got them well organised.
Yeah, first and foremost, he's got a lot of respect for the manager, Pep Guardiola at Man City, and a respect for him as a team, because he knows they're a quality team. So he'll have worked exceptionally hard during training to get the defence right. But I know the 4 defenders defended brilliant, especially the 2 centre-backs. I thought they were outstanding, Jagielka and Williams. But also the midfield, how hard they had to work in front of him. David Silva getting on the ball, and you know what kind of player he is, so you have to close him down. You have to work hard, and as a team, I thought we grafted really, really hard. But back 4, I thought did ever so well, and when they got beyond our back 4, Martin was there to stop them.
Bryan Oviedo had a difficult opening to the game because the boy Sané was on fire on the right-hand side, but Bryan stuck to it.
That's the first time I've really seen Sané, and I think, what a player. I don't think I'd have liked to mark him as a full-back as well. He looks confident on the ball. He looks to go inside, outside. So, difficult opponent. I thought Bryan did all right.
He did. He stuck to his task well, little Bryan. Well, any team going to Manchester City intent on getting any sort of result will obviously need their goalkeeper to be right on top of his game. Players like De Bruyne, Aguero, Nolito, Sterling, Iheanacho, they're all match winners. But on Saturday, Everton's number 1 wasn't just in good form, he was out of this world, saving 2 penalties and adding a couple of worldy stops in normal play as well. Martin Stekelenburg was top drawer at the Etihad. Not that you'd know it though from his somewhat understated post-match reaction.
Yeah, you know, if you come here, you know it's going to be a tough afternoon, and I think especially first half we did very well. It cost a lot of energy. I think, you know, they dominated the game first half and second half as well. But first half, I don't think they created a chance. I think we defended very well. Second half, you know, it's going to be more difficult because, you know, it costs a lot of energy. And with the players they have, you know they will get their chances. So I think, yeah, if you concede 2 penalties, some chances, and you come 1-0 up, you hope you get the 3 points, but I think in the end we have to be happy with a point.
And as well as the defenders and yourself bringing their A game, you need the midfield and the front 2 as well. You've got defending starts right at the other end, doesn't it?
No, I think it's an amazing team performance today. I think everybody, including the players that come in, did an amazing job, and I think you can be proud of the result.
How important is it to you just how well the Evertonians have taken to you?
Yeah, no, so far it's amazing here. You know, I really like it, and also, you know, first of all, you want to play. You want to play good as well, and you know, everybody helped me amazing in the beginning so far, and you know, I'm sure they will do until the day I leave.
This is a great point at Manchester City, but we need to get back onto the winning track, don't we?
Yeah, of course, but you know, if you see this game, and I think you have to be happy with a point, because you know, not every game you can win, and then you have to make sure you don't lose it.
Certainly be watching Match of the Day tonight, won't you?
If my wife let me, yeah.
Just tell her you'll be watching it. Tell her you saved 2 penalties.
I think she knows already.
Let's talk about the penalty save, Snods. He hasn't just saved 2 penalties there. One's against De Bruyne, one's against Sergio Aguero. 2 world-class players.
Without a doubt, two world-class players as well. People might say, oh, it were a good height for a keeper, but when you're facing them 2 kind of players, things must be going through your mind. Where's he going to put it, left or right? And 2 fantastic penalty saves, and really kept us in the game. It
gives the supporters a lift. It gives the rest of the players a lift, doesn't it, when a keeper saves a penalty? So to save 2, you surely begin to think, this could be our day here.
Yeah, I know. I was disappointed when the referee gave the penalty, and I think there were penalties, let's be fair. Yeah. But I was disappointed. So I imagine how the fans were at the Etihad. They must have been gutted, to be honest. But as we say, he's pulled 2. It gives a great lift. The fans all go mad when a penalty save is. So it gives us another boost to kick on again.
2 great saves in normal play as well.
Oh, the one from De Bruyne, I was a little bit disappointed. I thought he should have held it, to be honest. No, what a save it was. It was fantastic.
Right on top of his game, Martin Stekelenburg. OK, that's us for part one of this week's show. We'll have a short break right now, and when we come back, we'll reflect on an amazing win for the under-23s at Reading, another fine victory for the under-18s, and we take Leighton Baines back to school in Kirby. Welcome back to part two of this week's programme. Now, Leighton Baines is as grounded a professional footballer as you're ever likely to see. He takes his community responsibilities seriously and he's never forgotten his roots. So he was delighted to be able to combine the two recently when he accepted an invitation to return to his old school in Kirby. This is the day that Bainesy went back to All Saints.
So basically, my old school, but it's a new build school.
So how long has this been here, Tony?
So this is the 8th year. We moved from the Bewley Drive site, which is in Southampton, which was adjacent to where Leighton's from originally.
Yeah.
And then we've moved up to this area of Kirby. We're a Catholic school, but we serve the community of Kirby.
I must admit, this is nothing like my school was.
No, it's a lot different now.
We're going to have a little ones around the school.
Let's do it.
To one or two teachers.
I certainly don't remember my assembly hall having any brand new motor vehicles.
Wouldn't have stuck around, wouldn't have been there long, would it?
These Leighton are our future in Kirby. These are set one English students. They are really academically gifted.
Nice to be able to come in. I used to enjoy English myself. I'm not sure I'd have been mixing it with these lot in the top set, but I did enjoy it though.
Okay, thanks for your time.
Nice.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. You all right? Yeah, good, yeah.
Guys,
Bit quiet in here.
Girls, Leighton Baines, Leighton, All Saints School.
All right, guys. You all right?
We're going to have a game of heads up, Leighton, so we'll explain what we're going to do.
Final three, here we go. Heads down. Heads up. Winner. Yeah. That's definitely better than what I had when back in the old facility. Looks lovely.
How old were you when you started playing for the school team?
How are you? You all right? Good to see you. Well, it was like every year you had your teams and you throughout every age group, and then as you got older you sort of moved into you had your Knowsleys and your Merseyside counties as well as your school as well. So they were always the games that, like, when you think back you recall, like we used to have like the rival schools as well. Then there was All Saints and there was Brookfield and stuff as well, so it was like derbies really.
Year 7 boys here really well.
All right, mate. How are you?
Remember?
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah, you all right?
Good to see you, mate. Yeah, you all right?
Yeah.
Just welcome Leighton to our school, and if I could just ask any very brief questions as we walk around the building, boys. Okay.
Like, how did you choose to become a professional footballer and what advice could you give?
Well, obviously playing footy, getting in the school team was one of the first things I did. I can remember the kit being massive on me, but loving playing after school and getting in the team. And then, like what I can see you lads doing is working hard. Once I got to a certain age, I wasn't the biggest, so felt like I always had to work that little bit harder than some of the other kids just to stay on the same level as them. So just working hard, getting my head down and trying to enjoy it. But I felt a lot of things come together for me to make it really, which was, you know, partly down to your work that you put in, but a lot of luck as well. And sort of for me it was almost Sid Benson going out of his way, because he was a friend of my granddad's, just pushing me and trying to get me into clubs and eventually getting me up at Wigan. And probably if Sid hadn't have done that, then who knows.
Leighton Baines proved to me time and time again that he is an Everton ambassador in the making.
He certainly is. I don't want him to be yet, because I want to see him on that field a lot for a few more years yet, and I don't want to be unemployed, Leighton, by the way. But no, great lad, and he went back to his old school, you're right, but all the boys are willing to go out in the community, whether it be hospitals, schools, etc. And the lads are the great lads, but especially Leighton, he's a local lad. And yeah, I've got a lot of time for him. And he was at the Tony Bellew fight.
Yeah.
I seen him there as well. So he was supporting Tony as well. So yeah, he's one of us, isn't he?
Every time I take a professional footballer to a school, the kids always say, if you weren't a footballer, what would you do? And they always say, I've no idea. Did you take school seriously, or did you realise from an early age that it's football for you?
I weren't the brightest in the box at school, to be
No.
honest. Yeah, I always wanted to be a footballer, and I knew it were going to be tough. The career teacher said to me, look for something else, Ian. There's not many kids make footballers, so, but I was determined, and really that was my best subject PE at school, so I gave it my best shot.
And a professional footballer when you were 16?
It certainly was.
It was the right decision in the end. Right, let's switch our attentions now to the under-23s. David Unsworth's boys have blazed a terrific trail in Premier League 2 this season, and they returned to the top of the table last week when they won a 9-goal classic away at Reading. Everton were 2-0 down early on in the game, but they were ahead by half-time and eventually won the match by 6-3. See if you can keep up with the best of the action.
Another game, another victory for Everton's under-23s, who hit Reading for 6 at Wycombe's Adams Park on Monday night. However, the Young Blues had to come from behind against the Royals, who took a 2-0 lead through Andrea Novakovic's early brace. But Umar Niasse pulled one back on 20 minutes and levelled matters soon after. Niasse wasn't finished there though. This well-taken effort rounding off her first half hat-trick for the Senegalese forward. Ahead at half-time, Everton added a 4 through Kieran Dow, before Dominic Calvert-Lewin fired home a 5th from close range. Victory was sealed late on when Liam Walsh took aim from 20 yards. And although Thomas McIntyre headed home a Reading third, Everton tightened their grip on top spot in the Premier League 2 table. Next up for the Young Blues, Liverpool on Sunday.
An amazing game, Snodge. You don't get many 6-3 wins away from home. It takes David Unsworth's lads back to the top of Premier League 2, and it's a difficult league to win that because you're against the cream of the crop in the country, aren't you, really?
You certainly are. 2-0 down early doors as well. As we know, it's not all about results, does it? Really, and it's about getting players into the first team. But it's always nice to win games, and if you're in a league, be top of the league, because it breeds confidence. As players, then they're confident, they want the ball, and it's all good for David Unsworth and his team to keep winning, keep progressing, and play with confidence, and that's what they're certainly doing at the minute.
And they've only conceded 5 goals in the league this season, so Unzi, he's a fully paid up member of the Defenders Union, isn't he?
He is. He's got them organised, but they're scoring goals as well, which is great. Six there. So yeah, it's good. Unzi's walking about Finch Farm with a smile on his face for once.
Unzi's had a smile on his face since he came back to the club, by the way. He loves it there. Right, from the under-23s, we'll move swiftly on to the under-18s. Their weekend game at Stoke City wasn't quite as dramatic as the older boys at Reading. There were only 7 goals in this one, but 5 of those were for Everton, with 4 of them for Fraser Hornby.
Everton under-18s came from 2 goals down to record a stunning 5-2 away victory over Stoke City at the weekend, largely thanks to a 4-goal showing from midfielder Fraser Hornby. Tyrese Campbell opened the scoring for the Potters inside 4 minutes, as the hosts seized possession on halfway before punishing the Blues on the counter-attack. Venancio da Silva Montero then produced this sublime piece of skill to double their lead midway through the half. But after proving their resilience in the previous match against Sunderland, this smartly taken strike from Hornby provided the Young Blues with a platform on which to build. 9 minutes after netting his first, the Scotland Youth International levelled the scores at 2-2 by providing the finishing touch to this neat move. And 10 minutes after the break, a perfect hat-trick was complete as Hornby outjumped a stationary defence to find the net again and put Kevin Sheedy's side on track for a runaway victory. But the midfielder wasn't done there and retreated from an offside position to link up play once more and increase Everton's buffer with his 4th and final strike of the afternoon. Yet the Toffees continued at full steam, and there was still time for Shane Lavery to get his name on the score sheet with this cool finish after a neat interchange with substitute Charlie Ball. The result may have derailed the Potters, but Hornby's 4-goal haul lifts the Blues up to 6th in the table.
It's my first hat-trick for Everton, but think the last time I scored 4 goals was when I was just playing for my school team, old school team in like year 8 or 9 or something like that. So yeah, it was a good day.
Was it just one of those days when everything you hit or touched went in the back of the net?
Yeah, it was, because if you see my 4th one, it was just sort of, I went down with cramp and then the play sort of came back and then the ball just came into me and I just swung my leg at it and it just went in. So yeah, it's just summed my day up really.
Clearly, Snods, when you're a teenage footballer scoring goals, you can get away with any hairstyle.
I remember mine when I was 16, 17, Dad, so I'm making no comment. If he keeps scoring goals like that, he can have his hair how he wants it.
Took them well, didn't he?
He did take them well. 4 goals as well from a midfield player. That shows he's got the energy. He wants to get in the box and score goals as well. But again, went 2-0 down, same as the under-23s, came back, won 5-2. So let's hope the first team don't go 2 down at Burnley does. But yeah, it's great. It just shows that the spirit's there at 18 and 23 level to come from 2 goals down, both of them, to go on and win comfortably in the end.
Coaches need to take some credit for that, don't they?
Yeah, they do. We've got great coaches at Finch Farm from every age group and mainly Evertonians as well. So it's good. We're in good hands.
Great character from the young lads again. Well, we've reached half-time in this week's Everton show. Coming up in the opening segment of the second period is the Cocktails and Canapés night that took place in the company of Ronald Koeman and his players in Liverpool earlier this week. Welcome back. Now, Tuesday night, unfortunately, didn't provide us with cocktail-style weather in Liverpool, but that didn't deter over 400 Evertonians from braving the elements to call into the District House Bar in the city centre to meet Ronald Koeman and his first-team squad. The Everton Cocktails and Canapés night was hosted by Match of the Day commentator Steve Bauer, and a good night was had by all.
Almost 500 people packed into District House in Liverpool city centre for a special event with the Everton players and coaching staff. Free cocktails and canapés evening was held as a goodwill gesture to those fans left disappointed when the end of season awards were cancelled in May. The evening saw groups of players interviewed on stage by the host for the evening, Steve Bauer, with those in attendance giving their heroes a tremendous welcome.
You know you've made it when you get a song.
Great song, great song.
You like the song?
Yeah, of course.
Do we have one more rendition of the song for Kevin?
As well as first team chat, there was also time to reveal the latest Everton giant, with Joe Royle accepting the award on behalf of Tommy Wright, who had earlier been to Goodison to receive the honour.
This award makes me very proud to be an Evertonian. Thank you.
And there was a poignant moment as the Howard Kendall Award was handed out a year and a day since his passing. Howard's wife Lily was on stage as Duncan Ferguson made an emotional speech to reveal Colin Harvey as the latest recipient.
He's managed the club, he's coached the club, he was right along Howard Kendall, he was right next to him in the glory years. He's a great man, it's Mr. Colin Harvey.
A charity auction raised £17,000 for Everton in the community, and the evening was rounded off by an extended interview with Ronald Koeman, as the Dutchman further ingratiated himself with the Everton fans. More of that coming up later.
Snods, you and I were there. It was a terrific night, but it was an emotional night as well. It was a year and a day after the passing of Howard Kendall, and no more fitting winner of the Howard Kendall Award than Colin Harvey.
Yeah, it was a great night. Well set up by Everton and the venue. It was great. All the lads turned up, but you're right. Lily Kendall were there to present the award to Colin Harvey, and rightly so. He deserved it, because when I got to Everton in '87, all right, Howard, man management was unbelievable, but Colin did all the coaching. He gives you a kick up the backside if you needed one, and I've got a lot of time for that man. Really have.
Doesn't like being in the spotlight, does he?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Genuine legend, though, Colin Harvey. Well, as you can see, plenty of the first team squad were happy to contribute to a thoroughly entertaining evening, but even they would agree the top of the bill on cocktails and canapes night was the boss.
You see the history of the club, and of course I knew from my football career that Everton was a big club. And of course then, is that a new challenge? And it was really, after the first 2 meetings with the board of the club, I felt it really enjoyable to step in, and till so far it's going well.
It certainly is. As you say, you'd managed against them, you've been to Goodison, looking from the outside. Is it everything you thought it was now working from the inside, leading Everton?
You feel the history of the club and really the support of the fans. And but okay, you need time to understand. You need time to see and a lot of new faces. Everybody in Finns Farm. It's a new management. That needs always time. And but the results are positive. That makes it the job a little bit more comfortable. But if you have a lot of an experience in football, you know what happened last week is not counting anymore. It's all about the next.
I remember talking to you, I think it was at West Brom actually, when you mentioned the fans, the travelling supporters that day, the fans that Everton take to away games. People can't believe that sometimes.
No, that's true, because when I became manager of Everton, they told me Everton was one of the 4 or 5 clubs who take always the maximum fans to the away games, and really that's a great support. That's a great support for the players. You feel yourself really supported by fans, and that makes the team stronger. And really, it's really enjoyable if you get a win away, and you can celebrate it with all the fans.
And in terms of the job, we've spoken to quite a few of you new players tonight. How pleased were you with the recruitment that you did at the end of the window?
No, very pleased. Of course, you like to do always more business, but everybody knows the story about that. But I think we did really good signings, and that makes the team stronger. That makes the team with a lot of more energy, and I think that was what the team needed at that time. And the new signing makes more competition to everybody. And okay, we had a lot of names here and a lot of players here, but everybody makes his best to make it difficult to the manager, and that's what you like as a manager.
And because of the results, would it suggest the players have taken on board the information quicker than perhaps you might have expected, or?
You need always time, and that's good to have the pre-season. The difficulty in the pre-season is after the Euros, what happened this season, that only you work together with all the squad maybe for 2-3 weeks, and that's not a lot of time. And but okay, I think we did well, and all about the intensity in the sessions, because I believe really in training sessions, how you train, how you play, and that's maybe a change for everybody, but. They're doing well. They're trying to doing their best and to accept and to adapt. The new methods of the technical staff.
And what do you think of the Premier League as a whole this season? Do you think it's more open than it has been in previous seasons?
Yeah, it's more open, like always. The Premier League is very unpredictable. You have, of course, what happened last season. Everyone was mentioned that Leicester won the title. That was really a wake-up call for all the big ones. They put a lot of money to sign new players, and it's amazing to be part of the Premier League. And that means for players, that means for managers, that means for fans, and that's really enjoyable.
You look very relaxed. The supporters obviously have bonded with you. All your coaching staff are up there tonight. I just wonder, if I was to ask them, how would they describe Ronald Koeman, your coaching staff who know you inside out?
Yeah, maybe it's better to ask them. But
come on, Ronald Koeman on Ronald Koeman. What are you like away from football, Ronald?
Away from football, that's difficult as a manager, because if you like to do your job perfectly, it's 7 days a week, and that's really my focus. And football is to enjoy, and we know all about to win the game on the weekend. But if you really like your job, that's the best what you can give to everybody and to the club and to the fans.
Brilliant. And just finally, you can tell the excitement of the supporters here tonight and at Goodison. What would your message be to them for this season, to the Everton supporters, Ronald?
No, the message is that the players will do the maximum to enjoy the fans, and if they see, I know the Everton fans what they like to see. If you give your best on the pitch, then they always will support the team, and that is what we need to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, you're very privileged to be in the company of the Everton manager. We thank him. Give him a big round of Ronald Koeman, ladies and gentlemen.
He's got such an aura about him, hasn't he, the gaffer?
He has. When he walked down the steps, you could see the fans' anticipation of what he was going to say. And when one or two of us, I got interviewed by you, Daz, with Martin Stekelenburg as well. And when one or two of the lads were talking, the way the room was out, you could hear one or two talking in the back, and that you couldn't help that, the way the room was. But when he walked down them steps, there was total silence when he picked that microphone up. It just shows the respect that he's got with our fans.
And with the players and his own staff as well, and you need that, I would think, Snods.
Yeah, you do. He's gone in there. The lad says he's pretty strict, or he's stricter than the last manager was. But that's the way he is. That's the way he manages, and the lads have took to that. And you can see in the way they play, they're disciplined, they work exceptionally hard, and they carry every word that he says.
Absolutely, Ronald Koeman. And that brings us to the end of part 3. Coming up in our fourth and final section, we speak to our defensive duo Ashley Williams and Bryan Oviedo, and we also preview the under-23s mini derby this coming Sunday. We're into the final part of this week's Everton show, and we'll start it by talking to a man who has had to wait patiently for some game time during his Everton career. Some dreadful injuries and, of course, the consistent form of Leighton Baines have meant opportunities have been hard to come by for Bryan Oviedo. But with Leighton Baines injured just now, the popular Costa Rican has started each of the last 3 games, and a fine job he's done as well.
Well, I'm so happy to be starting in the team. Of course, was 3 difficult games against City. Last game was the hardest I play. Was very difficult, but I think the team has a very solid attitude in the organization. We protect each other, and I think it was a very good result for all, because it's not easy to go to Etihad and had points in there.
Ashley Williams is new here. He's played in the left centre-back role so far. How is it playing next to him?
Well, I think if you play with Ashley, it's very good, because normally all the time he protects your back or he covers you when something happens, and he's a very good player, strong and fast. I think for me it's very good to play with him in the games, because it's not easy sometimes, but I have the support from him.
Would you say this is one of the best Everton teams you've played in so far?
Yeah, we have a very good quality at the moment. I think we have strong defenders. We need to improve, of course, because it's not. The season is in the beginning. We need to start. Improve every game, and I think if we come in new games, a few games more, we continue and we improve every time.
I thought Bryan Oviedo got better and better as he grew into the game against Manchester City.
He's playing against a difficult opponent. Let's not forget about that. He's a top player, and it's difficult. it was difficult for Bryan. And it's difficult because his second choice is such to Leighton Baines, and that's always difficult to come in when Leighton's either injured, suspension or whatever. But no, I like Bryan. He's always got a smile on his face. He always plays as well as he can play. He plays with energy, and yeah, he's had some unfortunate injuries in his time as well. So yeah, I quite like Bryan Oviedo as a person as well, Daz.
Hopefully the entire defence and the goalkeeper will get a bit of a easier time of it against Burnley at the weekend.
Well, let's hope so. We've had a couple of good results when we've been to Burnley on his travels in previous seasons. So yeah, I'm not expecting Martin Stecklenburg to be overworked as he were at Manchester City, but I think we'll take the game to Burnley. I think it'll be totally different, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can come back down the motorway with 3 points.
Certainly what the fans are expecting, that's for sure. Well, you heard Bryan Oviedo there singing the praises of Ashley Williams. Now, last weekend, the Wales international captain had to make 13 clearances against Manchester City. To put that into perspective, his average in a Premier League game this season has been 7.7 clearances. So it was certainly a busy afternoon for the centre-back, but then that's just how he likes it, and he's expecting pretty much more of the same at Turf Moor.
As long as you take something home with you, you know, a point or 3 points, it's you know, you feel like it's been worthwhile. But we would have liked to keep a clean sheet, but I think that, you know, that might have been pushing it with the amount of chances they had and the possession they had. But as you say, you know, it's hard work, but if you get something out of it, you don't mind so much, and you feel like it's been a decent day.
As you say, as a defender, you're always going to want to keep that clean sheet, but also as a defender, do you love those types of games, the real battles?
Yeah, you do sometimes. I think sometimes it's nice, you know, to have a lot of the ball and, you know, possession, but sometimes you get those games where you just have to, you know, do what you can to try and get a draw or a win, and that was one of them.
Burnley this weekend, a good result last weekend, but how important is it now to get back on the winning track, do you think?
Yeah, well, we've had 2 draws now, so we drew a win. We need one. We'll be going, you know, to Burnley to win, and we know it's not going to be easy. A different type of game, but one where it's going to take as much effort and concentration as it was against City. And as you say, you know, we want to get back on the winning track and get the 3 points, and then carry on and keep the momentum going.
And an international teammate possibly to come up against in Sam Vokes, will he keep you busy, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. He's a tough, you know, customer, Sam, and he makes it very difficult for the defenders. And I know him very well, so I know how difficult it will be.
Is it an old-fashioned centre forward? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's a big guy. He's very good in the air, target man. A bit old-fashioned, as you say, and he's a difficult competitor. So you know, it'll be a tough game, and one that, you know, whoever plays will have to be on, you know, on the ball with him and keep an eye on him.
Being in direct competition, will you be in contact with him this week? Have you already spoken to him about the game?
No, I spoke to him before when we was in camp, but I probably won't speak to him before the game. We'll just leave it until afterwards.
And hopefully you'll be the one with the smile on your face when you meet up with him afterwards.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. That's the thing. You always want to get your wins in against your international teammates, and then when you go back on camp next, you can give the fun, I suppose.
Snods, every single transfer, incoming or outgoing, carries with it a wee bit element of doubt maybe, but he was as nailed on as they come.
I was delighted when I first heard that we were interested. I thought, yeah, he'll do for me. I know what kind of player he were, experience, he were a winner, and you can see that way he plays. And I thought he played really well all season, but I thought against Man City he was absolutely outstanding. And alongside Jagielka, I think they got a great partnership going.
He's such a grounded guy as well, and you can tell that he's played lower league football because he seems to appreciate and just absorb everything that he's involved in now.
Yeah, it's a big move for him to come to Everton Football Club at this stage of his career as well, and that's not being disrespectful to Swansea. Ashley Williams is a great pro, a great player, and we wanted him at Everton, and I'm sure he's certainly enjoying it. And you can tell with the other night when all the players were together, he mixes in quite well, and he's a good teammate of everybody's.
And hopefully he'll have a quiet afternoon because Burnley have only scored 6 goals in the Premier League.
Yeah, let's hope so. Still, we can't be overconfident. They're a Premier League team. They beat Liverpool at home as well. So let's hope we get a better result than them. And as I say, I'm confident. I really am. I'm sure the players are. They're playing with confidence. I'm sure the manager is. So yeah, I want to see us come back with 3. I'm not happy with 1. I want all 3. I'm greedy.
Burnley don't score goals. Only Tottenham have conceded less than us.
Yeah, defensively we've been solid. The the last season were a little bit disappointing with the goals we conceded, especially at Goodison Park. But this season we seem to have adapted and we're quite strong at the back now.
Hopefully 3 points from Turf Moor at the weekend. Right, it doesn't matter what age group the games take place in. It doesn't matter where the teams are in the league table. Nothing stirs the senses quite like a Merseyside derby. And on Sunday, it's the turn of the under-23s to clash at Tranmere Rovers Prenton Park, where Liverpool play their second-string fixtures. The Toffees go into the game as Premier League 2 leaders, but Liverpool aren't too far behind in 4th place. This is the pre-match view of David Hunsworth, and he does like a derby match, by the way.
We love the mini derby. We had 2 great games last year. Liverpool a good side. They're doing well this year. They're going along nicely. So it'll be a really tough game, as you would imagine, as you can expect from any Everton Liverpool game, any level. It'll be competitive, which is great. But also hopefully it'll be a good game of football.
And hopefully there'll be quite a few people there. It's at Prenton Park. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's a good chance to go and watch an attractive game on paper.
We hope so. I mean, the games last year there was a few more supporters there than are normally at our games. So that'd be nice if both sets of supporters turn up. And it's always nice for the lads to play in front of a few fans.
How do you approach the game as a coach then, David? Obviously it's a derby nonetheless.
Well, we'll not really approach it any differently than we normally do. We'll pay Liverpool the respect that they deserve in terms of doing our homework, and we'll pick a team to win a game. We might have to, control a few of the local boys in terms of, before the game. We'd want them to play, obviously with the hearts, but mainly with the head. So we need to control them. We do have a lot of local lads in our squad, so maybe we'll just tone it down a little bit because we don't want anybody doing anything daft, and we need to compete as we normally do.
Merseyside derby on Sunday. David Unsworth says they'll approach the game just like any other. Who's he trying to kid?
Yeah, to be honest, he's right, though. It's just another game. Is it? It's against Liverpool. Unzi will be dying to win that game. Even though you're right, it's an under-23 game, but it's a Merseyside derby, and there'll be players on their side, and especially our side. We've got a lot of local young lads, as David has said, that will want to win, but he's got to keep them calm as well. But football's changed since we played. There were tackles flying about left and right and centre, but they've got to be a little bit careful, not get carried away, and let's keep 11 on the pitch. But let's go out there, play it as though it is another team, but with that extra step in your, extra spring in your step, and go on and win the game.
Fire in the belly, ice on the brain.
Yeah, without a doubt. But a derby's a derby, no matter what age group it is for me. And I just want to see the boys in blue be triumphant that night.
And if they are, we'll show extended highlights on the Everton show next week. You can bet your bottom dollar. And that's it for this week's Everton show. It's great to be back in the old routine. And may I just say thanks very much to each and every one of you who took the trouble to say that you'd missed us and wondered when we'd be back on your screens. We hope you've enjoyed this week's programme. We've really enjoyed your company, and we'll be back same time, same place next week.